Hey guys, welcome to the Big Blue United podcast. My name is TJ, not interrupted by Dan and Colin, my main man. What's going on tonight, guys?
Are we collective main man?
Main men.
No, just you today.
No, just you're the main man.
I messed it up. Yeah.
Yeah, main man.
I could have been.
Dan was interrupting me. I tried to start the podcast 5 times. Dan's, all sauced out, yelling at me and whatnot.
How's everyone doing? Everyone's doing all right over here. The collective me is fine.
The collective
great.
You?
Well, because I said we, but I'm the only one in the room, so that doesn't make any sense. So I just kind of I leaned into it a little bit.
Yeah.
No, it's I had a nice weekend in the Poconos. I went to my first NASCAR event of my whole life, and it was cool. It was definitely what you thought it would be. There's two main things I want to talk about, and then I'm just going to leave that alone. Number one, they allow you to bring your own coolers in, so you bring your own beer, and it blew my mind.
Yeah.
Number two,
don't tread on me.
No, well, yes, but not one person checked any of our tickets.
You just walk in with a case of beer or whatever.
Just walk in. Okay, and the third one is they had metal detectors.
Some white privilege.
They were all going off, and the security was just staring at you, and you just walk through. So I'm sure there was at least at least
AKs.
65. Yeah, there's pistols, there was grenades in the seats. I'm sure there was everything like that. So
what compelled you to go to NASCAR exactly?
It was a bachelor party weekend for my buddy Rob, and he grew up about 15 minutes away from the raceway, and the bachelor party was going to be at his parents' house on the lake anyway, and Sean came up with the idea of like, let's just see if there's a NASCAR event at the raceway the weekend we're going to be there anyway. Lo and behold, it was. We were just all like, none of us have been to one, so why don't we just go? And it was cool. It was
it's a great bachelor party activity.
It actually kind of was, and we left early and we beat the traffic. And I have to say one more thing, that the parking attendants and the way they had everything set up was so incredible. You're in and out. No problems at all. It was unlike MetLife or any other football stadium situation.
I'm glad they know cars. That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, car race.
They're not checking for machine guns. They're not checking for you leaving the parking lot either. That jives.
It was all good. It was great. I enjoyed it. I don't think I'll ever go back, but I'm glad I did it.
While I
were you guys in the infield? Did you do that thing?
No. We were actually very. We were not even in direct sunlight. We were in the shaded seats.
Oh, perfect for you.
Well,
catering towards your.
It was hot, wasn't it?
Efficiencies.
Yeah.
How hot was it outside?
That was 90 degrees, I guess.
Oh God, what a terrible week this has been with the weather.
Yeah,
I hate it. I hate it so
You're
much.
losing money on your outdoor seating, I'm sure.
Dude, it's yes. No one will sit outside.
Everyone wants
it's a
inside.
huge portion of the business. Yeah. But
guys, I got some good news.
Yeah.
Throw it out there.
I spent my Saturday going to a 3-year-old birthday party and a 2-year-old birthday party.
Mm-hmm.
And the kids are going to be all right. You know why?
Why?
Because they still do this. It's called sand art, my boys.
Oh yeah.
That's a dolphin with multicolored sand in it.
That's Lisa Frank looking stuff.
Yes. So,
oh, fun. As usual, guys.
Make this an NFT. Yeah, make this an NFT, guys. Gift
interrupting again. Can't say anything.
Stomping on my jokes.
Yeah. All right, guys, follow Big Blue United on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You can follow us at BBU Podboys with a Z on Twitter. I'm back out there doing a light commenting. Not really posting much, but I'm trying to get back into it. So give me a follow. Give Colin a follow too. He's on there. Don't forget to download that DraftKings app. Use promo code TPPN. I want to talk about this weekend. I was at work in the morning, and I, just find something random to put on TV usually. But there's always like some like obscure or not so obscure sports, but it's like the Senior PGA Tour, and then there was the AKG Dog Agility Pro Cup, which is my favorite name for anything ever. And I did go on DraftKings to see if I could bet on it, and I can't.
Oh,
so. Get it together, DraftKings.
Yeah.
Let's bet on some doggies.
Yeah. Let's go.
That's actually a surprise.
In the same vein, can I highlight something?
Yeah, go ahead.
I was scoping out the X Games. I don't know the last time you guys checked that out.
Oh yeah, I watched
like
it. I watched it this weekend too. Yeah,
it was something sort of awesome about it. At first, I was pretty like, "What the hell is this?"
Yeah.
And then, basically, they're like filming like in sort of native environments for these sports, like BMX or skateboarding or whatever.
Okay.
And it was just like skate parks. And then there's this one thing that was called like Real Street, and essentially they were going to like iconic skateboarding spots.
Cool.
In like California,
That's awesome.
like an iconic rail in like some school.
Wow.
And there's just like the best skateboarders in the world hitting this rail for an hour, just like taking turns. And that's how they did it. And there was like no audience. There was like 20 people there, but it was something like super cool about it. Like it was like the goal was to transcend to the essence of the sport, and they accomplished it. I was shocked.
That's
check
pretty
it out.
awesome.
Yeah.
that is really cool. The one
Not
thing
that I skateboard really.
Yeah.
The one thing I noticed when I was watching the X Games was a lot of times I was just thinking, I was like, wow, I would never do that because people are absolutely crazy. Like it just looks so dangerous.
Yeah.
But good for them, man. I just can't do it. Our sponsor this week is Western Rise. Western Rise is a fantastic clothing company. We're all huge fans of them. Some of the stuff they sent me is some of my favorite clothes I own. All really high quality. The t-shirts are amazing. The pants are amazing. We got hats too. Those were great. I can't say enough good things about Western Rise, and I know you guys agree.
1000%.
Yep.
Yeah. So guys, please.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you got something?
No,
I was just gonna say, check out westernrise.com. You want some really nice, high quality clothing, just go for it.
Yeah, every time I pull out Western Rise out of my dresser drawer, I'm always happy about it. Glad I have it. It's I can never figure out what to wear, but anytime I pull one of those things out, I'll just pop that on and I'm good to go.
I've probably worn my light gray hat more times than any other hat that I own in the last year. It's just like it fits with every outfit, and it also can be crumpled up and put in your bag, and you pull it out and it's exactly the way you want it. It's not ruined. And I think it's a little moisture wicking too, or not wicking, resistant. I think you can get
it's not going to get that white sweat mark on it.
Yeah.
And if it does, you can just wash it out.
That's like every hat I own this week.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Brutal. Anyway, westernrise.com, please check it out. Not like a ton to talk about today, Giants related, but I happen to have received some more insider information. I know this was a big thing last season when
Breaking news.
Dan had a guy in the building, talking to Gettleman. That was fun. Do you remember all that Gettleman tweet of the week? That was fun. Now we have now there's competency, so it's less easy to make fun of. But anyway, I have from a trusted source that Nick Gates will actually be back playing this year at some point. So, which is great. So I'll kind of sum up the information I got. Is basically that the person I spoke to, he was like, this injury is very akin to the Alex Smith injury. So obviously like a very big one. He had surgery to get a rod put in. It got infected. They had to go back in, do the same surgery again. But apparently he is looking good, and at some point this year he'll be cleared to play. And I want to just mention this surgery. So the person I was talking to showed me like a video of this surgery, and it's like to put this rod in the leg, they are like hammering full strength on these like on these screws and stuff. And then like I saw the reverse, like when they have to take it out, the doctor is like he needs leverage of his foot on like a bar to like pull the screws out of the leg. So it's just like a really big, serious surgery. Like it's a big deal. So the fact that he is gonna come back this year is amazing. And I think, if you kind of forget, but he was probably the best offensive lineman on the team entering last year. Obviously Thomas had a breakout year, that's changed. But if Gates comes back and you have, Thomas, Evan Neal, Glowinski, Nick Gates, and then, presumably Feliciano, you or Garcia, whoever it is, you kind of look at that offensive line and it's like, what happened? It sounds good.
Should be fine.
I don't know if we've ever mentioned this before, but this is remarkably similar to the Rich Seubert return.
He had mentioned that before.
He had a destroyed leg, came back, and was better than he was prior to it. Not saying that Nick Gates is going to do that, but there's a little bit of a precedent of Giants players having that sort of thing. So.
I'd also mention that when TJ told us initially, and he said there was an infection, I took immediate umbrage. And how could someone that undergoing surgery at this level have an infection? But that apparently is something that is common with this type of surgery. So don't jump down the throat of Giants facilities and referrals for surgery. It happens. I was ready to do it though. I was ready to find the mole or find the weak link in the front office again. But I guess we could take a breather.
The only other information I got is that a particular Giants player isn't very bright. Can you guess what player he was talking about?
Does he have a really cold head?
Freezing cold head.
Head's so cold.
Head is very cold. What else can we talk about, guys?
Can we talk about I'm sorry, TJ.
No, go ahead, dude.
I was just say, I don't know if we have this on the docket, but I want to talk about the quarterback tier that came out from the Athletic.
Of course.
We're going to talk about
absolutely.
that. Yeah. Just to brief you, the Athletic does really good reporting, and I actually paid for a subscription this year, so hopefully we'll be getting some more information as time rolls out. But
who's the guy there? Is it Dan Duggan covers the
Dan
Giants?
Duggan's the Giants beat reporter for the Athletic, and he's been crushing it for a long time, even before he was there at the Athletic. But they did a quarterback tier sort of poll, and they polled 90 NFL coaches and executives, which included 6 general managers, 8 head coaches, 10 evaluators, 12 coordinators, 6 quarterback coaches, and another 7 executives, and salary cap people. And basically they tiered every single quarterback in the NFL. And at the top is the usual suspects: Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, Josh Allen, who, we're hoping for. And, that's the top 10. There's Joe Burrow's number 6. Russell Wilson's number 8. You keep scrolling. You're like, okay, where's Daniel Jones going to hit us at? I'm getting to 20. We got Carson Wentz. Scrolling. Okay, here 24, Jameis Winston. Okay, Daniel Jones got to be showing up. 25, Justin Fields. Okay.
Justin Fields is 25.
Yeah. 28, Zach Wilson. Fair enough. 29, Trey Lance. And coming in at a solid number 30, we got Daniel Jones.
I find that hard to believe that you're going to put, dudes who have never done anything above him. At least I'm not a Daniel Jones fan, but you've actually seen him play.
Yeah.
You've never even seen Trey Lance play. So, but he's better than
they
Daniel
saw
Jones.
They did, apparently.
I mean, I get it. The turnovers and all that are a big deal, but I still think that's unfair to Jones. To Zach Wilson had a putrid year last year, and you're going to put him above Jones. I don't understand that.
Well, that's why I sort of outlined the people that composed of this this survey, because they seem like people that should know. And one of the things they highlighted. I guess I don't want to rip off this entire article, but we sort of are, is that he holds the ball just way too long. And I think we've noticed that as well. And I feel like that's a characteristic that by your 4th season, which we're headed to, should not exist anymore, let alone your 3rd season.
At least, given what we've heard from what Dable wants to do with the offense, is get the ball out of his hand as quick as possible. So at least they are... And we've seen it already, but it's clear they recognize the problems and the deficiencies, and they're going to try to tackle it, no pun intended, and just get ahead of it and actually put this guy in a situation where they recognize he's not great, but he can do some good things, and you can win when you have a lot of good stuff happening around someone. And don't put him out there in situations where he's not going to excel.
Sure. I think also one of the things I've been learning from everything we're reading, the drips and drabs that come out at this time of year, which isn't much, and in this article as well, is that it's well known the Giants don't have a ton of faith in Daniel Jones. And this is very much you have to blow us out of the water this season.
Great.
Or we are moving on, because there's not a ton of faith based on how they are dealing with him these days.
Can I ask you guys a question? Or go ahead,
Colin. I was going to ask you, Dan, specifically a question here. Hypothetically here, say he does blow their socks off this season for some strange mystical reason. How would that actually make you feel?
I mean, if he does it in a very consistent, freakish way, then okay, you got to roll with him. But I feel like barring like an impervious, like bulletproof, like 180 transition to like a good quarterback, anything that's like middle of the road is not going to satisfy me. Like, sure, if he all of a sudden is a top 10 quarterback, I'm for it. That's hard to get, but I feel like that's like a fraction of percentage of actually playing out for us.
I understand that. I just don't want you to. I want you to ride the momentum if it, the positivity of it, if something resembles that happens. I don't want you to be breaking them down the first chance.
No, I'm not going to break him down. I think I also have faith in this coaching staff and front office to realize that, yeah, he might have some flashes and might have some moments, but I think they're more likely to try to sell those moments than, build a franchise around those moments.
Hey, best thing that could possibly happen is maybe he looks good enough to up his value and trade him.
Yeah, 1,000%.
And ride Ty God into the sunset for the rest.
They're not gonna trade him. He's not gonna have, what season does he have to have for like me to want him to be on this team? Like, I don't think he's capable of throwing 30 touchdowns.
No.
I don't think he's capable of throwing for 4,000 yards. I just don't see it.
No. He throws 22 touchdowns and 15 interceptions. Like,
fumble 8 times. I mean, that's more realistic.
What was his highest amount of touchdowns in a season?
20.
His rookie year, he had. I
thought it was approaching 30.
Real quick. His rookie year, the numbers were okay. I mean, hang on, might as well look.
He's gotten worse over the years.
Yes, he's gotten worse every year. His rookie season, he had 24 touchdowns to 12 picks, and then of course he had 900 fumbles.
How many touchdowns did he throw last year? Was it 10?
10 to 7 picks.
Is that good for a starting quarterback?
I mean, he didn't play half the year.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
Super
if he played 5 games, 10 is not good.
Well, I want to ask you guys: do you buy any of this Jimmy G to the Giants business at all?
Absolutely not.
I don't either.
That's not the answer.
It's not the answer, but I think that's a bridge quarterback who's better than Daniel Jones and better than Tyrod Taylor.
It was David Carr that said it. Why would he even say that?
I've read it in multiple places, actually.
Yeah.
But yes, David Carr did say that.
Tenenbaum said it.
It's strange.
I mean, look, if you can, they want to. The problem is
that
two
screams
things.
of
One,
Dave Gettleman.
That contract sucks. It's $27 million, and 2, the Giants have no cap space. 2, why would you trade draft capital for a guy that you're going to have maybe on your team playing for one more year? Because presumably, if Jones washes out, you're drafting a quarterback in the next year's draft. So I don't understand where this comes from. It's almost as dumb and contrived as the whole Russell Wilson thing was when that was going on. I think they just stick with what they got. I think that Schoen has said that they're rolling with Jones this year. And, I feel eventually Tyrod will come in and play, whether it's because of injury or Jones isn't performing. And then you just move on from there at the end of the year. And I don't think anyone is expecting to win the Super Bowl at all.
No.
The Giants were in cap hell. They did their best. I think with what they had, they've done a spectacular job so far.
TJ, you're speaking like a smart, reasonable, logical person. I don't think you're going to find a disagreement with any of us, but that kind of like bubbling up of someone like Jimmy Garoppolo to the Giants screams of Dave Gettleman, the previous regime. I don't think they're that stupid. I think between Kafka and Dable and Shane, like, they understand the importance of an elite quarterback, and they're not going to settle for someone that's going to be middling. And what Jimmy Garoppolo is at this point. There's not like he's reached his ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
He's also not like a super like lovable guy, especially for New Yorkers. I don't think like there's no like enticement to bring him here other than to like, try to maximize the awful roster that we do have. I don't. It makes no sense to me in any sort of way you look at it. So
I mean, he has had a lot of success, like win wise, in the playoffs.
But sort of like not due to him though. Yeah,
agreed.
He has never done it himself.
It's sort of despite him, honestly.
Exactly.
I mean, I know our friend AJ, who's been on the pod a few times, was like, wanting the backup to play because he hated Jimmy G so much. But
Mullen?
yeah, I mean, I don't know where the heck Jimmy G will end up. because that's a hard one. We didn't know where Baker. We kind of called the Panthers for Baker. There's only one. The Seahawks, the only team we need a quarterback, and I don't think.
By the way,
care
Baker
this
was
year.
ranked 10 spots higher than Daniel Jones in this ranking.
That's fair.
It is, which
That's
is
fair.
great, insane. Yeah.
I mean, you know,
I have just, I don't know if you guys heard the news out of New England, but someone we know pretty well is the new quarterbacks coach.
who's
he's
the new
been-
quarterbacks coach?
Oh, Joe Judge.
Oh, your boy. So actually, I did want to ask you guys. I don't know if you were perusing Twitter at all, but Snacks posted a pro Joe Judge post that
He's been doing that a
he got
lot.
robbed. He never had a chance.
Yeah, well,
I kind of like first saw that and I was like, they didn't really give him he didn't have a good chance at the Giants. And then I
Fair.
remember that they ran a quarterback sneak 2 plays in a row in their own
Mhm.
territory, and I have no sympathy for Joe Judge.
Yeah.
no.
We learned
Zero,
all we
none.
needed to know about Joe Judge in the last half of last season.
Yep.
I mean, with the laps and the Timmy Tough Nuts, which
Yeah.
is great.
Yeah.
It's
I
just
think that's a
not-
perfect
I mean,
segue
it's
to
so
the-
weird.
McKinnon comments. No.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, sure. I don't know if you guys want to. What was it? New York Post article.
Yeah, it
Xavier
was.
McKinney interview. Highly recommend reading it. The one thing I gathered from it the most is that he was, giving honest answers,
It was
not
extensive too.
football answers. He was making comments on particular guys on the team when he was asked about them. And I think that's what the coaching staff is, wants, is to be open and honest. That's one of the things he said, that the coach has never lied to them, that they care about them. I mean, all the comments that he made were amazing. And, he did touch on the fact that the previous regime, there was no communication and people were quitting and nobody wanted to try. So, I mean, it's just a beautiful article to read to give yourself some hope for this season, at least for me.
I agree. I think some of the changes that we thought were being implemented and the culture that the new regime is bringing in, according to that interview, which I think McKinnon he wasn't trying to like, talk trash or dish or air out dirty laundry for the previous regime. I think he was trying to be subtle about it or restrained, but it was just so bad that it was blatantly obvious.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like there was an extreme lack of trust between coaching staff and players in the previous sort of coaching staff. And now through, whatever practices we've had, OTAs, voluntary practices, whatever, they've already been able to just demonstrate a level of trust with the players that if they say something, they're going to follow through. That's a very basic level thing you try to develop at any level, whether you're coaching little kids or professionals. Like if you say something, you expect something of your players, you have to follow through on your end. And that was a distinct feeling I didn't get from the previous regime.
Yeah.
I feel like the target was being moved constantly. There was no clear focus. McKinney talked about how practices weren't planned in previous years, and now they actually know what they're going to do. He discussed the injury thing where players would tell coaches in the past, I'm not feeling so good, and the coach would be like, yeah, we'll make sure we look out for you, and then
change
not
nothing.
make any sort of accommodation. And here, there's an actual follow through on remembering in the very least, and considering a player's sort of autonomy over their own body, and to be able to recognize not pushing themselves too far in the preseason, in not even the preseason, in OTAs, everything rang out extremely true to me. And I it totally made sense, and that was the vibe I got all along. So it was cool to see, and it just makes me more hopeful for moving forward. The team might not be in the playoffs or pushing anyone, but I feel like they are building something that's real, and that makes me very excited.
I wonder if he was given, I wouldn't say a free rein, but kind of don't worry about fully coming out and saying everything, but let people know that you feel like this is a different situation.
Did they mention that in the interview? I feel like they talked about his ability to speak more freely. Or was that just me reading the editorial part?
I
mentioned-
don't think so.
Okay.
But when he asked about Wink Martindale, he was very open-minded, easy to talk to.
Yes.
So I think that's kind of the narrative that they were kind of going with there.
Well, that's
true.
the biggest thing that you hear from players that they want. And for years, I didn't really quite know what it meant, but fully. But like a lot of players have already said about these guys that they are letting them express themselves and be themselves and figure out ways to want to fight for these coaches and play for these coaches.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. When they asked him about Kayvon, you know, he's like, he's got a bit of character in him, but that's what we want, and that's what we really need, honestly.
Exactly.
So I think that's, you know, the swagger is something that's been pushed down for so long, and now it's good to have some characters on this team. You know, the last thing I'll mention about this interview, I don't know if you guys have some more, but when they asked him about Dane Belton, and the high praise that he was giving him,
he's already a brother
to
him.
They have a similar skill set. They're pushing each other. You know, he knows where he's at talent wise. So that's awesome. If Belton can come in and be a great player. Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying, you know, but it's cool. It's cool that, you know, they're working together like that. And McKinney's got his back. I mean, you know, when we did the preview, we probably called Belton, you know, starting sooner than later. Yeah. So hopefully we do see that.
Yeah. That got me amped up as well, TJ. But then I started thinking about it. And it felt like a little bit hot air. Like,
yeah, I'm sure it is a bit. But you know, it's fun to get excited. You haven't been excited about the Giants in a long time. So even if I have to grasp at straws, I'm going to go for it, you know?
Yeah, at least he wasn't like, we're just practicing hard. We're doing our best. We'll see when it comes out on the tape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like when he asked about Tony, and the thing he said about Tony was that he can throw 70-yard bombs standing.
That was the first
He didn't mention anything about catching the ball or anything like that. Yeah.
Tony for quarterback, man. Let's do it.
I hope to see him do some gadget stuff.
I hope to see him play a lot of snaps at quarterback.
Yeah.
I hope he stays healthy.
Just period.
Exactly. Number one.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's a great article. I highly recommend reading it. Go check out New York Post. Who wrote it?
Yeah.
It's written by
Serby? Was it Serby?
Serby Q&A. Yeah. Steve Serby.
Yeah,
it's a fun name to say.
Great article.
He's one of the better Post guys. There's a lot of, lack of better words, there's a lot of crap in there, but like he's one of the better guys. So
I always like the sports section of the Post. The rest of it,
the
rest of it you can use to wipe your ass with. You know, basically, worst publication.
What kind of IPA are you drinking, DJ?
Oh, I'm actually drinking a two Robbers hard seltzer right now.
There you go. Okay.
Nice.
So I had to do the whole week by myself because my business partner was away. So I was there from open to close Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Oh,
so last night I, you know, had a couple extra beers, and it was a BioSteel morning for me.
Yeah, dude.
nice.
So my wife went out and got a couple seltzers, and now I'm feeling groovy again.
Very good.
Alcohol, hooray! I mean, we would be remiss if we didn't bring up the throwback unis. Obviously,
Oh yeah,
Hence the hat, my man.
right there, buddy.
Hence
That's why I wore it.
Yeah, dude.
I am pumped. Those look awesome. As much as
all the morons that are just like, what's with the different color blue in the helmet? They should make it the same color. No, shut up. Shut up. You're wrong. It looks great. And it's a little weird, but like, it's because the palettes weren't, they weren't as accessible in the 80s. So you kind of got what you got. And
it's also more interesting.
Yes, agreed.
I mean, they look awesome. I'm excited. Who we're playing? What, the Commanders, and I forget the other team.
Commanders.
In those jerseys,
like
Commanders.
Can we just start
sports generated team name? It just does not seem real.
Could we just start calling them the Guardians and just interchange Commanders and Guardians? And
that was a bad name change too.
Yeah,
I mean, they had to change the name, but why didn't they come up with anything decent?
Like, who's defending Cleveland anyway?
What's a Guardian anyway? Yeah, what is that supposed to mean?
It's a place that used to be industry.
Yeah, but okay, what does that mean?
It's a deep throwback to early
YouTube
videos.
Yeah. Okay.
What pops in your head when you think about those uniforms? What's like the first thing you think about? I mean, you got to go Super Bowls, but is there anything else particular?
No, you know
like
what I was hoping
memory?
they do. I was hoping that when they do these throwbacks, which I don't think they're doing, they do like the mesh as well. That was sort of more holy, and you can sort of see the pads underneath. I think they're doing like more advanced, technological mesh. But I love that. Like I would love if they did like the ripped. I guess that was more college. I don't think they ever did that in the pros, but like just like, you know,
Belly Boys.
Yeah,
Belly Boy style.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
like the
Uh,
Miami Hurricanes in the 90s.
Yep.
A lot of Belly Boys on
I
that
mean,
team.
I think that the thing that we would have said was the white pants, but they've already integrated that into like the regular uniform. The white
Yep.
pants were so fresh and they're undeniable. So they've already been, got rid of the gray pants because of
yeah,
it.
those gray pants were terrible.
The face
Oh,
mask is it in the white face mask?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, white face mask is fresh.
I'm just
I
thinking like
prefer this logo. They should keep the
Yeah,
uniforms
same.
now, but use this logo instead of the other one.
Don't worry, they'll come around. By the time we're like 45, it'll be that, and they
Probably.
just pander towards the money paying base.
mhm.
That's
They
why
do-
and
they
why I
don't-
came in.
Change their uniforms that often. I think like I remember reading, was it like 1 year they had different uniforms and then they sucked so hard they never wore them again.
The red
It-
uniform?
70s or
It
something.
was 1976, I believe. It's when they
Yeah.
had the capitalized NY, and it's the most god awful.
Yeah, it's an ugly logo.
And the jerseys were garbage. There was too many stripes on the shoulders.
Mhm.
It's gross. Go look it up if you haven't seen it.
Yep, they
Anyone
were
out
for
there.
one season. That was interesting when I was looking at the uniform history. But yeah, I mean, I hope that I feel like the aesthetic, the 90s aesthetic is going to come back, and
So these
We're
are
gonna
two
see it.
games, right?
Yeah.
They're not